Australian veterans and scientists who took part in Britain's nuclear testing program 7 decades ago are to receive a service medal after years of campaigning. Joining me live in the Perth studio is veteran Rex Kaye. He served in the RAAF and spent time at Woomera, the site of an Air Force base used during the British nuclear tests at Maralinga that ran from 1956 to 1963. Rex, really appreciate you making the time to come in and talk to us. Thank you. Just tell us about your exposure to these tests. What was your experience?
My exposure came about when I was in the middle of doing daily records on the Gestetta machine. And all of a sudden I hear the sergeant say to the corporal, "Take the lad out," same age of course I was of him, and wash the aircraft down. And of course I knew what I had to do because there was no chemical or anything for us, so we had to use the fire hose. And I went and grabbed that and took it to him, and then I went back and turned it on. And he said, "Now stay 12 to 15 feet away from it because it's hot, and let it have it for 3/4 of an hour all the way around." And I did that. And of course, naturally, it's dropping whatever the dust is. I thought at the time, I didn't know what it would have been. I wasn't told. And I understood later that that must have been, what's the name, to do with the tests, like. And of course, I was there from 61 through to 64. And I was about 2.5 years there, and I came straight off my entrance into the RAF, even though I was in Air Cadets and in the reserve in the RAF.
So were you given any warning about how dangerous this could be? Did you have any protective equipment?
No warning, no protective clothes on me. I had a pair of shorts on, probably my shoes. I'm not sure whether I had a shirt on or just my singlet, because it was pretty hot in that place, and some days you'd get up to nearly 50 degrees. So I just went and done what I was told to do, and anyhow went back in, just went and straight and do what I was doing on the Gestetta machine. And then other times I'd been asked if I want to go up the range a bit and pick up stuff and that. And this was with the Otter aircraft. And they were 2 Otters that they had there to do with down at the Antarctic. And they brought them up into there and used them there to just fly up and down.
So what impact has this had on you in terms of your health, do you think?
Well, I say one occasion we picked up a box of radiated material and film and whatnot, which was to do with. I had gone up before and picked up other stuff at different times with the pilot and came back. Nothing was ever asked of me what I'd done or anything like that. All the time, and we used to go out on the range or whatever, and of a weekend in certain areas of it where we'd have afternoon tea and have a picnic sort of thing with the children, and but we used to also get a blast of rain and dust and everything. And one particular year, this was towards the end of my time there, we got a blast with real thick dust, and looked like smoke at first, but it was rain coming with it. And we got called up to leave at 3:15. The bus will pick us up and we leave. And we were only about, probably no more than about 5 k's away from the place, and it hit us like nobody's business, and we had to pull up, couldn't see in front of us.
It is extraordinary. How has your health progressed since then?
My health, I used to play a lot of sport, which I got a feeling I might have kept it away to a certain degree because I was pretty active and all that. And then all of a sudden I damaged my feet at a job and I fractured them both and had those fixed up and everything. And then in, what was it, 2000, I was having pains in this. I was at work. I'd got out of the building game and went into the hardware game, and it was wholesale hardware. And I used to go and pick up hinges and all that sort of thing and put it in this hand and then go and put it back on the trolley. And that got to the stage where this hand was going down further and further and aching all the way up into my neck. And I said, I've had enough of this, I'll have to go and see the doctor. And I'd only seen him 2.5 months before. And I went in and saw him and he said, what on earth have you been doing to yourself? I said, nothing really. Why? I'm working hard and whatnot. He said, you lost a lot of weight. Get on the scales. What were you, 85 or something? I said, yeah, 85 or between 87 and 85. And when I weighed, I was 62.
Right.
And he says, good. You're going from here and having another blood test, and then you can get over to the hospital over at St John of God's in Murdoch, and you can have an X-ray done of your body, and you can have a head scan. And I'll see you Tuesday. And I did, and it's the first time my wife has ever come to the doctors with me. And he shook my hand while he was looking at her. He says, now, do you want the good news or the bad news first? I said, wait until I sit down for the bad news. He said, you got leukemia.
Right.
And that's all he said. And he said, I'll book you in up at Western Diagnostics there in Myree, and you can see the specialist there. And I did, saw him, and he says, got nothing to do with your normal living life.
Right.
I says, oh. What life was it? He said, what service life had you been in? I said, oh, Air Force. And he said, where have you been? And I said, well, probably nothing to do with Wagga. And I said, my first booking was Woomera.
Right. And
he
unfortunately,
said, say no more.
Yeah. And a lot of people have had similar experiences to you, haven't they? How does it now feel to see the British government recognising, after so much fighting for so many years, that you are an atomic veteran?
I had tackled even British government for where they keep their records and stuff in museums and that. And it's going to cost you this and it's going to cost you that. And it's English money, not Australian money, so you're going to be paying a lot more than what you would at home and all this sort of stuff. And I said, oh, forget it. I'll just ram off here. And I went in, and it took me nearly 8 years to be recognised as such. And I ended up with a white card, like, and badge. And anyhow, that was all right. And I still tackled them on different things and that. And then I mentioned about something to one of the chaps, and I wrote it back to him, and he rang me. He put in there a letter back to me to say, give me a ring if you want to go any further. So I did. I rang him. And he says, oh, there's nothing in here of your records and whatnot that you did. I said, no, I found that out well and truly, because I reckon the English had taken everyone's records, because there used to be a heap up at Maralinga in drawers that I was told. And I said, when someone went back to get them and they weren't there.
Right.
So they were keeping the records away from the Australian government as well.
Well, Rex Kaye, it sounds like it's been a long battle to be recognised, and we're glad to see that the British government's finally got onto this and will be sending you out a medal, we assume, hopefully sooner rather than later. Thank you for your service, and thanks for making the time to share your insights with us.
But with them, I've been CNOMA as president for 8 years of our group, and I've been given a card that I'm a member of their group, which has joined the Americans, the French, the Canadians, and whoever else is tied up with the tests. So that's...
I'm glad to see that you're getting the support that you deserve after all these years. Rex Kaye, thank you again.
Thanking you very, very much.